Overcast with rain in the air, and the wind is picking up, would you believe, in Perpignan. A big night ahead for the Dragons and the Rhinos. The pressure ramping up on Catalan coach Steve McNamara after 3 straight defeats at the start of the season. Meanwhile, Leeds are looking to add to the misery, chasing a 3rd win in 4. Already been a dramatic weekend in Super League, starting with that draw after Golden Point extra time. Hull FC and Lee Cast with their first win. Salford still without a win after all their off-the-field problems. And Hull KR making it 4 out of 4 with that impressive win at Saints on Friday night. And round 4 is rounded off on Sunday. 2 big games, Warrington and Wigan, back from their Vegas experience at home to Wakefield and Huddersfield respectively, all on Sky Sports Plus. Well, this is how the table shapes up. Hull KR, runners-up last year, 4 out of 4. Great start for Leeds. Saints losing for the first time, and look at that. Hull FC in the top 4 at the start of the season. And down at the bottom, confirming Huddersfield, Salford and Catalan still without a win. Well, Steve McNamara has made changes as he looks for that winning formula in round 4. Sam Tompkins is still a week away from playing, so Artem Morg is recalled at fullback. And Theo Farge played for the first time this season after recovering from broken ribs. Both Tariq Sims and Tabita Pangai come back into the starting lineup. And a double boots for Leeds as Brodie Croft and Matt Frawley return in the halves. And there's a debut for Aussie Ethan Clark-Wood on the wing, replacing the injured Ryan Hall. Garrett O'Connor will make his 100th Rhino appearance from the bench. And alongside me, former Saints star John Wilkin, 2 key men on either side.
Yeah, Catalan Dragons' 4th cycle of people in the halfbacks. Theo Farge coming in, this huge amount of experience, but the fact that they've gone through 4 combinations already shows you where their attack's at, Stuart. On the other side of the page, the one to watch is Jake Connor. Are we going to see him have a resurgence in 2025 under the coaching of Brad Arthur? As you rightly said, it's a poor start to the year for Catalan, and Leeds, under Brad Arthur, may well have found something that works for them.
Yeah, it really is a big 80 minutes ahead. Steve McNamara, who is the longest-serving coach in Super League, took over the Dragons in 2017. The 53-year-old in charge of, would you believe, his 170th Catalan game. And there's no doubt he will be under pressure.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons. They've spent big, haven't they? The signings that they brought in, if you look at Tabita Pangai Jr., Elliot Whitehead, Luke Keary, you know, there's an expectation from Bernard Gouache, the owner, that those calibre of players would deliver results. Now, in the opening 3 weeks, they have been poor. There was a glimmer against Warrington, Stuart, where they showed a bit of fight. But apart from that, it's been pretty poor. And Bernard Gouache will want a performance. Not just a win, but a performance. Catalan is an incredibly difficult place to go. But you know when it's more difficult? When the Catalan fans actually turn on their own team. They're as ferocious then as they ever are. So it's important for Steve McNamara that they get away to a fantastic start here against the Leeds Rhinos that have just got a little bit more steel. And that comes from their coach, Brad Arthur. It's such a tough off-season what they've had.
Well, he's made a big difference, hasn't he? I mean, you mentioned Jake Connor. I think it's fair to say, as the teams come out onto the surface, the playing surface here at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, Jake Connor is really in the last chance saloon as far as his Super League career is concerned. But encouragingly for him and for the Rhinos, he's made an impressive start, hasn't he?
Yeah, we had Brad Arthur on the Bench podcast, and he spoke about the brutal conversations that he'd had with Jake Connor. I picked him in round 1 as the thing I was most excited to see was the evolution of Jake Connor's character under Brad Arthur. And we've seen green shoots, you know, in 3 rounds of what that might look like. Hugely important for Leeds. Let's mention Brodie Croft and Matt Frawley are back in the team. You know, that experience that was lacking last time out, although they scored 7 tries in the last game. You know, without doubt, Frawley and Croft will just bring some guidance. As I said, a difficult place to go and play and get a result. And Catalan will be hurting from the start of the year.
All good, boys.
The conditions more akin to winter in the north of England. It's cold, it's raining, there's a wind. Pretty much perfect for Super League at the start of March. So here we go, round 4. Leeds against Catalan, and it's a big game for both sides for completely different reasons. But for the Catalan Dragons, as John Wilkin was saying, they will feel the pressure. They have to start well. And you know from experience, the crowd will turn on them. They do lose patience very quickly.
They do, and look, if we look at this from Leeds, what we've seen under Brad Arthur, they're going to apply pressure to Catalans, who are feeling vulnerable, but they'll commit numbers to tackles like this. They'll put all of their energy into line speed, and these are the earmarks, these are the things, visible assets that Brad Arthur has added to the Leeds Rhinos.
Here is Pangai Jr., one of the big name, expensive signings that the Dragons have invested in for 2025. Garcia from dummy half, the long-serving captain. And a lot will depend on him as well. The switch to hooker. Will it make a difference? It hasn't worked, arguably, in the first 3 rounds. It's Theo Farge with a long kick, and it's well taken.
Yeah, we've seen the influence of the wind straight away. Jake Connor's kick-off held up maybe 15 yards short, and with Theo Farge's kick there, just sailed the breeze right to left as you're watching here. Strong breeze.
Go on, good that, Elliot.
But what a good take it was from Riley Lum, a young man on the wing who has seized his opportunity for Leeds without a shadow of a doubt. Big hit early on. Hanley and Newman will be important as well. But the back line just looks settled at the moment for Leeds, doesn't it? And that can only be a plus. Brad Arthur has obviously, as John alluded to, had more than a word with Jake Connor. The same as well, you have to say, with James Bentley, who is playing a lot better under the guidance of the Australian coach. And there is Connor with the kick downfield. Trapped and taken in the end, but then lost. Now Leeds have got it back, and this is an opportunity.
Yeah, it looked to be stolen in the tackle. It was Brodie Croft. The ball popped out, and that just gifts Leeds some field position. And this is where the composure of Croft and Frawley comes in. You're 2 minutes into a game. Brad Arthur mentioned about his side building into a performance, about being error-free at the start of games. Well, it's important, regardless what part of the field you're in, you focus on ball retention and building pressure.
McDonald does well. Ackers at dummy half.
Still 2-0 there.
Frawley involved as well.
No effect there.
Encouraging start this for the Rhinos, but already Catalan under pressure in the opening stages.
Still third.
Palacia.
Off the ball away!
Just shy of the
Go
line.
4, play on 4.
Ackers again, and here's Frawley.
Still 4.
They switch the play, and Croft with a little kick through. What a chance that was. It was in and out. That was a certain try bomb there by Jake Connor. It was a set move. It was off the training ground. Frawley for Croft. But what a chance.
Yeah, he's butchered it. It was a perfectly weighted kick. As you said, Frawley just turned Croft back inside. Kick was perfect. Connor obviously read it. He just comes up with the error. It's a big mistake. It's a try-scoring opportunity that's gone to waste there. We spoke about Jake Connor, about his promising start to 2025. Well, poor first touch here.
There's the video referee having a look at this.
In the ruling of a knock-on, it's tackle 4. We need to pause the ball on the foot on that angle, please, as it's from a kick. Camera 3, if we pause the ball on the foot, please.
The video referee is
okay, so
Liam
pause
Rush.
the ball on the foot. If you keep going, pause it on the foot here. Back 2 frames, please. Okay, so we can see that players in the middle are in an offside position. Jake Connor is okay, so we can play it through from that point. We roll it through from that point. Those chasers are all passive. Do you have anything from the corner, please? 5 or 6. Okay, nice and slow on this, please. Nice and slow. Okay, we lose sight of the ball initially. Do you have anything from the other corner? Really slow on this, please. Really slow at this point. Jake Connor clearly knocks the ball on. I've made my decision. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, all very odd, John Wilkin. Captain challenge, do you want to explain?
Well, Jake Connor's suggesting that his right knee got to the ball. Obviously, the decision, the challenge is going to be unsuccessful. So Leeds losing their challenge just 3 minutes into this game. Jake Connor's suggesting that it came off his knee, that his hands didn't touch it. Through the several angles and that lengthy process, it was the final angle that made it appear as though Jake Connor got his hands on it. Now, Jake, you would suggest, wouldn't have gone for a challenge if he hadn't been fairly confident, but nevertheless, it's Catalan ball, and Catalan get the ball in a very tricky position here against the Leeds defence, which is intense.
That's a strange one, isn't it? Because I mean, it looked clearly to be a knock-on, but he didn't even ground it. But as you say, the captain challenge, which hasn't been used that well by the 12 clubs in Super League, you have to say, so far this year, at the start of the captain challenge experiment. And Leeds, after 3 minutes, had raced him down. So a let-off in the end for Catalan, because, of course, all it needed was Connor to pick the ball up, and it was an easy try. 0-0 it remains, 4 minutes on the clock. Farge eventually gets the kick away on halfway.
It's a fantastic take, isn't it? Again, the wind really having an impact. As Clark Wood just retreating into that far corner, came up with the ball. It's really going to play a part in the kicking game of both sides, is the wind.
Yeah, big moment for Ethan Clark Wood, of course brought in on a 1-year contract after the horrendous injury suffered by Mika Sivo. A debut in the south of France, and his family getting up at 4 in the morning, would you believe, in Campbelltown, in a suburb of Sydney, to watch his debut.
Well, welcome to them. Welcome to everybody who's watching, the Leeds Rhinos fans back home. We'll be watching and encouraged by the start to 2025. It's been tight here in the opening first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and again, caught in the wind, the kick by Jake Connor, picked up by Theo Farge. Yeah, the worst start for 7 years, Catalan. The last time they lost the first 4 league games at the start of the season was back in 2018. But it's worth mentioning that they then went on to win the Challenge Cup, so all is not lost. And it's interesting speaking to Steve McNamara yesterday, John, that he wasn't unduly worried.
Yeah, we're so quick to build up who's failing and who's succeeding at 3 games into the year. You know, we know nothing about what's going to happen in October or the Challenge Cup, so you know there's plenty of time for Catalan to get things right. But there's pressures mounting, isn't there, on them, without a doubt. Like, that has to be said. For Leeds, they're far from the finished article, but showing real signs of improvement. There we see the wind again, Stuart, just taking Theo Farge's kick maybe 10, 15 yards further than he envisaged. And that's going to be a tap 20.
The Leeds certainly do look a different side. And the Brad Arthur, don't they? He's got a hold on him, he's got a handle on it.
Well, they're playing with intensity, both sides of the ball. You know, I think they understand the patience and the discipline to build a performance. You know, they're coming out of yardage here. It's relatively conservative. That being said, they've got the ability to move the ball if they need to. But it's defensive efforts that really impress me. And this young man, Morgan Gannon, talk about a star. He came in and filled in for Brad Arthur at half-back when Matt Frawley and Brodie Croft were off against Salford. Produced an unbelievable display. So delighted to see him start. What a hit.
That was a big hit on cross.
It's Tariq Sims.
Yeah.
Tariq Sims has just clean cut through
Where do you want it, boys?
the middle of Brodie Croft.
Yeah, it came off a Catalan hand, but that was a huge hit on the Leeds half.
You just don't want, that's not what you want. Let me tell you, when you're ball playing, you know, you're 7 minutes into a game, you got Tariq Sims just cut straight through your ribs. It's a bit of a contest to pick the ball up. It's good defensive intent from Tariq Sims.
Well, you remember his huge hit, don't you?
George Williams.
at
I
the
think
start
George Williams still remembers
of,
it.
at the start of last season, Tariq Sims making his mark. 8 minutes gone, still waiting for the first points.
Bang your heads, boys. Okay, bang your heads now.
Worth mentioning that on Leeds' last 2 visits to the Stade Gilbert Brutus, they've been nilled. A couple of years ago, 61-0, would you believe? Last year, 26-0. So any points would be grateful, but all that matters for the Rhinos is the 2 points at the end of the game. Of course, their captain, Cameron Smith, is out. Tom Holroyd is suspended as well. Seaver, as we mentioned, out for the year.
Not complete. Oh, mate. Go third. Okay. Still third.
Here is Croft again. Well, that wasn't the best of passes.
It was loose, wasn't it, from Croft? Aldrich taking advantage and picking the ball up. It's just a drifted, floated pass that was not accurate enough, and Catalan gifted possession. And look, if there's anything to be excited about Catalan, it's the number of big ball carriers. They've got Rhinos Smith, who played in the halves against Lee. Big, athletic guys. When they were warming up against Lee Stewart, I was blown away by the size and the athletic nature of this team.
Well, that was Smith, and this is Pangai Jr. Garcia at dummy half. Good hands for Theo Farge. Here is Rhinos Smith again. Tackle coming in from Harry Newman. This time it's Luke Keary. Farge again. First opportunity for the Dragons inside Leeds territory. Boost game with the charge. Last one, 10 yards away from the try line. Garcia comes to near side. Little kick through for Smith, and that was superbly read. It really was.
Yeah, it was Ethan Clark-Wood.
Clark-Wood again. He's made a good start in defence.
Just on task here, because Keary brings him up by threatening to play. Now Clark-Wood has to check, make sure there's nothing in front of him defensively, and get back there and ground the ball. This incredibly diligent wing play there from Clark-Wood. It's very easy to get stuck on the end of the line, thinking that Keary's going to pass that ball. Well, he does both jobs. Discourages him from running, forces the kick, but it is a repeat set. It is pressure. And this is where Catalan have to be better.
Yeah.
Really blunt when attacking the opposition try line.
Well, that was hoofed there by Jake Connor, but you can see how it held up in the wind again. Here is Pangai. Back-to-back sets for the Dragons. Got a lot going on there, was there? Oliver Partington. But they just lost any advantage. Pangai once more. Acker's in there with the tackle. Bentley there too for the Rhinos. Keary now and Artem Morgan, it's intercepted. I think that was young Riley Lund, wasn't it?
Again, fantastic defensive play from the young winger. Other side of the field to Clark-Wood, but equally effective decision. Just coming up, reading the pass from Morg, which was telegraphed, Stewart. But excellent defensive play on the edges here from Leeds.
You can see the problems already, can't you, in the opening stages with the Catalan attack. Just 4 tries in 3 Super League games. 4 in 3 games. If you count the cup match with Halifax, where they scored 2, they basically scored only 6 tries in 4 matches at the start of the season.
Yeah,
That's where the problem is.
Yeah, we see why. 4 combinations of halfbacks. You know, this is the 4th game of the year, so clearly searching for something. But they're in this. This is a competition. You could dwell on those things way too much as well. You would get obsessed by them and talk about them. I think Catalan just needs to be direct and crisp with the skill, and things will happen. They've got enough good players.
There is Luke Keary. Fair to say that he hasn't performed at the highest level. World-class player, 3 NRL Grand Finals, but yet to see the best of Keary in a Catalan shirt. 12 minutes on the clock in Perpignan. Good run, good charging run. An offload by Pangai Jr., but it was dropped by Bousquet. Another error from Catalans. The last set they gave away an interception. This time it's a knock-on, and they're gifting Leeds
Off the ball, Ben!
all the possession that they need.
That's one.
Alensky.
Oh! No, back up, boys. Goal
Hackers
two.
as always at dummy half.
Kutanita! Hold
Play the
first.
ball
And the back
by
five.
McDonald.
Still first.
Frawley now. There's space on that far side.
Humiliate! Hold four.
Yeah, Palacios started it. That's a little kick through. Chase for the try line, and Moore gets across under pressure from Ethan Clark-Wood. Catalans starting right on their own try line, but Leeds too eager, caught offside. Nick Cottridge was trying to play the ball out. First penalty of the game goes to Catalans. 13 minutes in. 0-0, John Wilkin.
Yeah, and just how important might that one be? In the back of the screen, Sam Tompkins. We speak about how Catalans' attack's been failing. Well, Sam is only a week off. He nearly played here this afternoon, and you put him with Luke Keary, who you mentioned struggling. Well, you've got two high rugby IQs on the ball. Brad Arthur will be disappointed with that penalty, Stuart. He speaks about line speed, about intensity, but you have to be disciplined with that. It's a cheap way to let teams out of your half.
0-0. Here is Pangai Jr. A marquee man from the NRL. What a capture it was to get him to come and play for the Catalan Dragons. Here is Theo Farge. Whitehead just over halfway. Garcia has Bousquet is an ever willing runner. Julien Bousquet midway inside the Leeds half of the field. 14 minutes gone. Farge again. Good play by Rhinos Smith, who John says very powerful centre. And on the last, it's Keary who hoists it high towards the line, and it's taken by Lum. With good pressure from Elliot Whitehead. There'll be another goal line dropout. And just building something maybe here at Catalan.
Well, it's an incredibly accurate kick. Luke Keary drops that. Riley Lum tries to ground it by putting his foot in the in-goal. If you straddle the in-goal there, you know, Leeds ultimately get the ball back and it's a tap 20. But the accuracy of the kick from Keary. Now, you mentioned him struggling. I've got a bit of sympathy for Luke Keary. He's used to firing the ball out the back and seeing James Tedesco. Now, it's not currently the case.
Absolutely good. They tried the short drop out. The Dragons get it back. Laguerre it is. Mathieu Laguerre at dummy half. 15 minutes gone. Still waiting for the first points. Partington was brought down. Here is Pangai and Keary involved. Oh, looking for Tariq Sims on the charge, on the run, on the angle. Ball comes back now for Luke Keary. Here is Pangai once more, but look how many Leeds defenders are there. Croft and Palacia. Farge again, 2 tackles left in the set. Good defence again, good goal line defence from Leeds. Frawley was there, Handley was there. Last one as far as puts a little chip through, and are they going to be pinned back behind their own line again? They are. It's a third goal line dropout. It was Croft who read the play and read it well.
Yeah, steely defence from Leeds, never really looked troubled. Once he got to the last play, you've got Theo Farge, who's got a beautiful short kicking game, drops on his right foot. And it's the chase that's impressive. The kick's accurate once again, just as Keary's was, but the chase from Morg, from Tariq Sims, was detailed and on the money. Now this sort of pressure just tells, doesn't it? Like I said, the issue remains for Catalan is they've got to convert this into points.
Leeds go short again. And they may well have come up with the ball, but I think they were pushed into touch. Yeah, touch unlucky, I think, from Riley Lum.
Middle.
It's Catalan.
Tap back. Did it come off a Catalan
Yes,
hand?
I think it's touched by Catalan.
Yeah.
Stuart, yeah.
Challenge.
I think they're going to challenge this. This certainly, Tommy Makinton's making all the noise.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
he was looking at challenging it.
Challenge it.
Catalan reckon they should get the ball.
Talking to him now, wait.
Captain challenge.
I'm waiting with him.
The video ref Liam Rush will have a look at this.
Got a captain's challenge. Catalan's challenging the rule with knock on. I was in confrontation with him, so whilst I'm waiting, I went to do that. Already talking to him.
Okay, there's no tackle. Catalans are challenging the ruling of knock-on. Do you have something close in on that, possibly camera 4? Okay, nice and slow. Nice and slow. Okay, so it definitely touches the Catalan player's hand. We need to work out what direction the ball goes in relation to the floor. We'll see if this tells us anything. Okay, that angle doesn't really help us. Do you have camera 4 again, slow, please? So, same, on that same angle, sorry, just go back to camera 5, please. So nice and slow. Nice and slow on this. Okay, so the ball looks to touch the Leeds player's hand after it touches Laguerre's hand. Nice and slow. Do you have any other angles that you could show me? So, could you show me that same angle again, please? Nice and slow. So we know it comes off the Catalan player's hand. It then touches the Leeds player's hand. The challenge is unsuccessful. Aaron, it's going to be a knock-on.
Well, eventually the decision is made. John Wilkin, challenge unsuccessful. John Wilkin.
It was clearly not on. It was just not. It was a knock on. That process just needs to be sped up. I'm sorry. We had 5 looks at something that on the first angle was just a knock on. Just make a decision quick.
It's fair to say the captain challenge is causing consternation at the start of Super League 2025.
Yeah, but it was a short dropout, wasn't it? And you know, Jake Connors persisted with that and stuck with that, and it's come up jumps for them here. Laguerre getting a touch, clearly getting a touch and knocking the ball on. Now Leeds, instead of defending their own line, they get the ball some 15 yards out, and tough spot to come from. But I think Brad Arthur will be encouraged about many things that his side have done in this first half. He'll just be disappointed with the Brodie-Croft error and the penalty right on the Catalan line. There's two errors really for Leeds. For Catalan, they've got to convert pressure into points.
18 minutes gone. There are no points in Perpignan still between Catalan and Leeds. The Dragons desperate for their first win of the season. And Leeds, can they make it 3 wins out of 4? Partington penalised. And it's a penalty for Leeds. A good position.
There's a strong carry from Harry Newman. He's a threat. He's so strong through his hips, and he just keeps driving while he's on the floor. Puts the markers in a weird position. Ollie Partington gets trapped, and that's a penalty. And look, in the modern game, in fact throughout the history of the game, errors in discipline are huge. There's a penalty here for Leeds off the back of getting that ball off the short dropout. And it's just such an easy way, without using energy, to get out of your half. A great carry from Harry Newman to win a penalty.
Yeah, Palliser it was there, and already becoming a big favourite with the Leeds fans, but then a mistake this time. Aletsky couldn't grab the ball. He was put in all sorts of trouble. Too many errors reaching the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and it's Brodie-Croft again, going right into the teeth of the defensive line and just giving Morgan Gannon a murder ball. He did the same on the other side of the field. Brodie-Croft needs to have some composure here. I think he misunderstands when Brad Arthur says play conservatively. I watched Matt Frawley and him break it down on lead runners who are under all sorts of pressure way too much. Now, for me, being conservative and managing possession. You can play out the back, just play a bit earlier, or hit your lead, just play a bit earlier. Brodie Croft doing neither there, just digging into the line. So 2 errors off Croft's passes here, just putting too much pressure on his forwards to catch.
Cottridge with the run. 2 new wingers, Cottridge and Makinson, yet to score a try for Catalan. Will this be the night for either or maybe for both? Tariq Sims runs into Palacia. Croft in there as well, making the tackle. Keary again. A short pass from Partington this time. Well held by Elliot Whitehead. 2 tackles left in the set for the Dragons. Here is Bousquet, and he was nearly clear. Did well to hold on to the ball. Quick play the ball on the last. Morg, over the top it goes. Just holds up in goal, and well, it was well read, wasn't it? Well read by Ethan Clark-Wood. He thought about it, and he read it perfectly in the end.
Oh, we're giving him the benefit of the doubt. He left it on purpose. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
No, it was. It was a great read. Great read from him. It's just a tad too strong from Arthur Morg. Again, just looking to build pressure with short kicks, but it's a big error that. You know, it's a 7-tackle set, 20-metre restart. Just gives Leeds again another easy chance to just breeze away from their end.
0-0, 21 minutes gone. Is it the sort of game that you expected, John?
As I said about the wind is incredibly strong. I think that's really playing a part in the game so far. I think errors and discipline will be something that Brad Arthur will focus on and will be worried about in the opening 20 minutes. For Catalan, they're in the fight, aren't they? You know, they're not looking lacking confidence, but, you know, they're going to have to do a job to defend Leeds now as they get into a position where they'll likely move the ball.
Bentley it was with a run. Palacio before that, always willing and eager to have the ball. Last one, it's Frawley. It's a really high kick. Arthur Morg comes for it. I think it came off a Leeds player. It did. It picked up by Bousquet. Play on. 22 minutes. 0-0 in the south of France. And a penalty against Leeds.
There's Morgan Gannon. Again, discipline from Leeds. Morgan Gannon, just the telltale sign when you're holding on too long is you just have a glance at the referee to see if he's going to ping you. He did. He pinged Morgan Gannon. He just got hooked up in the tackle. And again, both sides just being a little bit loose here. Certainly feel like the side that settles down with some discipline and some consistency will get into the ascendancy here.
What about telltale sign? That's what you used to do when you played.
Well, it is. You look at the referee to see if he's blowing his whistle, and weirdly enough, when you look at him, he does.
Who will break the deadlock at the Stade Gilbert Brutus? Artem Morg missed the last couple. They'll be glad to have Farge back in the side. Navarrete on the field. Big day for Romain Navarrete, the 200th game of his career. Morg once more. Tricky and always dangerous when he gets the ball. Last one, what are they going to do? It's Farge who puts the kick through, and it was well run again. Defensively, Ethan Clark-Wood has been spot on. If I'm not mistaken, is that a 4th goal line dropout for Leeds in the first 23 minutes?
Yeah, and there's a penalty here for just an escort and back play.
Ah, yes.
So it's, I think it is, yeah, just a little escort from the Leeds chasers, just giving maybe Ethan Clark-Wood a little bit more time. So it's going to be a Catalan penalty. And regardless, they were getting the ball back, weren't they? Chris Satai on the field. You spoke about their big man, Catalan big men, Pangai Jr., Satai, you know, all of these big players, they need to. You're 3 metres out from the line. Now, if this was a rugby union match, you'd see those players charging to try and get over the line. Might be the best. If you can't move the ball, which Catalan really struggle with, you've got enough big bodies to just power your way over.
Well, they've dominated certainly the last 10 or 12 minutes, but they've come up with nothing. Leeds defensively have held firm. Sims brought down. 8 yards away from the try line. Garcia and a first touch for Chris Satai. Back into side, missed the last 2 games. Feeling under the weather. Well picked up by Farge, not the best of passes. Does well to Theo Farge. Still does well, looking for support. The scrum half.
third.
Making some trademark run from dummy half. Done 14 years, of course, at St Helens. 2-year contract with Catalans. Looking for success with the Dragons. Satai! Stopped at the yard short. Desperate Leeds defending. Gannon was in there. Connor was in there. Last one again. Here is Morg. Morg can't find her way through. Brilliant defence from Leeds. Croft. Palacia with the tackle.
Yeah, what a big last effort from Palacia. He's just getting subbed off. A big stint from him. And just really tidy, connected defence from Leeds. Under pressure from Catalan, but the execution was poor. I said about being direct through big men. Well, there's Catalan doing exactly that. But on the back of it, what happens is, and it's happened far too often this year, and far too often last year, is Artur Morg just running down the dead end. There's no end product on Catalan. Nobody's moved the ball more than the Catalan Dragons. No one shifted the ball more than the Catalan Dragons in 2025. It's the end product, it's the finesse, what is needed for them.
From what you've seen in the first 25 minutes, you can absolutely understand why their attacking record is so poor.
Yeah, this is a huge kick. It's that 20-40 from Jay Connor. What a piece of play.
Unbelievable kick from Connor. Against the wind as well.
That's remarkable. Honestly, the vision and the foresight just to be able to pick. Obviously, the back three, the wingers aren't back in that situation. Never expecting Jay Connor to kick the ball. It's excellent. It's perfectly executed. And as you said, into the wind. Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable kick from Connor. It really, really was. It certainly took the Catalan defenders by surprise. They've been under the pump of Leeds for the majority of this game. And Bentley has lost the ball on the second tackle. There's another error from Leeds.
Yeah, there's too many from Leeds. It's, you know, when they're being so disciplined defensively, defending the line so well, they just need to get their attack going, and they just need to have that focus to get to the end of the sets of 6. It'll be a simple message from Brad Arthur in that regard.
Cooper Jenkins is on for the Rhinos as well. He's replacing Palacia. Oh, this is really good. Nowhere, I think, for Lagarde to go. Brilliant defence again from Leeds. I'll tell you what, they may have made errors. They haven't really made many inroads with the ball. We've had the best chance of the game when Connor knocked on over the line from a cross, kicked through. Apart from that, they've been defending their own line, and they've been defending brilliant.
Yeah, their edge defence has been outstanding. We've spoken wax lyrical about Ethan Clark-Wood on the right edge. Well, it's Riley Lum on the left, just showing strength, showing technique, with help from his teammates. But I love how connected the Leeds edges are. We're not seeing people out of the line on their own, trying to solve things on their own, everybody together. Well, as we said, the other side of the ball is where there's improvement for Leeds here in this first half.
It's been a brutal 25, 26 minutes, hasn't it? Just over halfway for the Rhinos. Here is Ackers, nowhere to go. Read really well by Garcia, but...
That's nasty.
Yeah, was it?
Well,
Garcia, it was another rep.
Aletsky's claiming there's a hip drop here.
Yeah.
So this is going to cause a bit of emotion from the Leeds players who think that Andy Ackers has been pulled and the hips of the defender have dropped through the back of his legs. It's incredibly dangerous, often accidental. Very hard to manipulate this situation. The question will be, has Navarrete dropped onto the back of Andy Ackers' legs? He has, he swung round. It's a great piece of deception from Andy Ackers, and wow, that is awkward. Completely accidental. But as soon as Navarrete's weight comes off the floor, all the momentum swings him round. Andy Ackers just gets his leg caught underneath him. I played with Andy Ackers at Toronto, he'll be fine.
Tough, don't they? Ackers, one of the toughest in Super League.
Yeah, it's awkward and it's uncomfortable.
You think it's accidental?
It's absolutely accidental. There's no impossible with all of the variables in that situation for Roman Navarrete to be able to pivot and swing himself off the ground to put weight through the back of Andy Axe's legs. Completely accidental. There's no malice in it. The concept of a hip drop for me is interesting. Look, genuinely think people do it out of choice. A bit like the crusher tackle sometimes. It just happens due to momentum. The video referee and the referee will certainly be having a discussion about it.
Penalty, and it's probably going to be a card as well, John.
It shouldn't be a card. It shouldn't be a card, but it should be a penalty. I'm more than happy with the penalty.
There's 10 minutes in the thing, but it's a yellow card for Rene Navarrete. Shaking the head for the man making his 200th career appearance, the boos of the home crowd.
Yeah, I feel his pain because what can he do in that situation? You know, Andy Ackers has taken a great carry, just spotted a gap between the two markers. If anything, it's advantage to him. He's poked his nose through. That's why it's a penalty, because Andy Ackers has created this situation where Roman Navarrete's in a bad spot. Ben Garcia and Navarrete, he just ducks through the middle and then his weight gets carried forward. But advantage Leeds, Stuart, isn't it? Whatever you say, that was created by Andy Ackers, just spotting that tiniest of gaps.
Well, they've got a man advantage. Can they find an advantage on the scoreboard? 28 minutes gone, still 0-0 in Perpignan. Bentley it was who is brought down. Ackers finds Frawley. Looking for a way through, looking to build some pressure. They haven't really been able to do during this game. And Cross sees a gap, puts the little kick through. And Catalan will get back. It's going to be a goal line dropout. I think Leeds initially were looking for obstruction. But it was, I think it was Partington who got back.
Yeah, big effort from Ollie Partington. What an important role he has for Catalan. You know, has to be industrious, has to work hard, but then he's got the added responsibility of providing some detail and execution to their attack. Big effort from Partington, and this is where we'll see the test for Catalan. Had the better of possession, certainly had the better of field position. Leeds, after the Connor chance, not really had much ball down this end of the field, so this is an opportunity now. In the light of the errors that they've made in this part of the field, you know, they'll certainly be just looking to get some execution. Navarrete sitting out for 10 minutes, and lucky for Catalan, they're going to have to defend the next few. Oh, wow.
How many times has that happened?
Too many. It's not allowed Leeds to get any momentum, not allowed Leeds to get a foothold in the game. Credit to the Leeds defence, though. He's had steel about it and had connection. The more you do that, the more you're going to burn your energy up, though, Stuart, come the end of the game.
Let's be honest, there's only been one real opportunity in the entire game, and that came early on when...
What a chance it was.
It was, and Jake Connor holds that, it's a try. But since then, for all the possession, all the pressure, knocking on the Leeds Rhinos' door, Catalan really haven't come close to scoring, but they might now, but the offload, and Keary goes astray, and now Leeds can possibly break. Clark Wood on halfway, but the error count is building from both sides. For all the pressure Catalan have had, they really haven't come close to scoring. And Leeds, every time they've got the ball in decent field position, it seems, they've lost it.
Yeah, sloppy from both sides, really. Nobody really taking this game by the scruff of the neck. Catalan has certainly had the better of the territory, but both sides making errors. Stuart, you know, that's 6 to Catalan, 7 to the Leeds Rhinos, and that's just too many in the first half for both sides, really. And you know, there'll be a real movement to tidy that up as Croft just sees a gap. Love it when Brodie Croft runs the ball. It's when he's most dangerous.
Good made the tackle, Chris Satire as well. 9 minutes to half time. Frawley, well read by Luke Keary. Good tackle. Last one for the Rhinos. They've got a man advantage. Can they make it possibly pay here? They run it on the last. Ball is kicked through there for Clark Wood, but it was knocked on by Nick Cottridge, and it will be a repeat set for Leeds, who are building some pressure for the first time, really. In this game, 0-0, it still remains.
Isn't it? And Leeds now with a chance. Conversation. There's got to be, you know, 10 metres out from the opposition line. Quite confident the Leeds chat will be just get to the end of our set. They haven't done that enough. But these are the parts of the field where you'll see the scheming nature of Jake Connor and the combination of him and Brodie Croft. At Salford, they were deadly at this part of the field. Even with the injuries to the house, with Jake Connor really taking charge.
Penalised there. Tommy Bakinson
Offside.
Yeah, having a word to say. It was Connor who was brought down, but you could clearly hear Aaron Moore. It was nothing to do with the tackle on Jake Connor. They were simply offside.
Yeah, Tommy Makin was disputing the fact that he's hit Jake Connor in the head. Jake Connor letting everyone in the world know that he's been hit in the head, by the way. That's par for the course, Stuart. We're used to seeing that. But Tommy Makinson just offside. He was up and in and aggressive off the scrum just to shut that man, Jake Connor, down. His combination with Croft, like I said, could be the key to unlocking Catalan, and they're going to have a real good look at that Catalan line here.
Absolutely. Turning down some points to try and get some more points. 7 minutes to go to half-time. With ball in hand as close as they've been, what can they do with the opportunity? Jared O'Connor is on the field for the Leeds Rhinos. Another landmark day for him, the 100th appearance in a Leeds shirt for O'Connor, falling with a little sidestep.
Big tackle from Whitehead, wasn't it?
Oh, Elliot Whitehead came across to bring him down. O'Connor again looking for a way through. Two tackles left. Can the Dragons survive? And again, not the best of passes, and it hasn't been the best of sets so far, you have to say, for Leeds. Here is Frawley. They'll run the ball and go backwards. Play on, says the referee. Picked up by Riley Lumb here, and they'll switch play. It's all very scrappy, all very messy. The kick through comes from James McDonald. And in the end, it was a kick in hope. It was a kick in hope. But Cottridge, in the end, desperate to get the ball behind.
What I love with every key player in the Leeds team, couldn't get the skill on the money, couldn't find any execution, passes on the floor, dummy half passes on the floor, poor play. And then you've got a young back rower to find a kick. As you mentioned there, Jared O'Connor on the field, 100th game. No, Brad Arthur loves this guy because of his effort and his intent. He's a work rate player, and maybe just brought on to just show up Leeds' mentality through that middle.
Yeah, especially the closing stages of the half. Not bad, is it? 100 appearances for a club, and he's still only 23 years of age.
He's still finding his role as well. He's played a lot of hooker, plays a bit of loose forward. You know, I think that's evolving in front of our eyes, but it's imperative now that Leeds execute. Last set of 6, skill, communication, coordination, just off.
Yeah, Cooper Jenkins there. They go the short side. Gannon again. Loves the ball, doesn't he? Loves to run with the ball with that left. Cameron Morgan. Gannon, and there's another mistake. Oh dear.
Well, that's Leeds' half in a
It may
nutshell.
well be O'Connor.
Well, that's Leeds' half in a nutshell. Got into parts of the field. You know, you think about Jake Connor's 20-40 that he kicked. You think, right, this is the turning point. You think about getting down the field now, repeat set. This is the turning point. Leeds are going to get it together. It's just not been good enough from Leeds. And letting Catalan really off the hook. Catalan haven't had to defend anything. No real shape's been thrown at them.
That last set there, the first time they've been on the goal line, Leeds. They still had the best opportunity of the first half, and it was fumbled over the line by Jake Connor. But you always seem to think that Connor's involved in a lot of what they do, and that was a I like that. I like the scrum push in that sort of field position. It can always come off, can't it, with a knock on.
Which Ben Garcia is complaining about a crusher tackle. So for people watching who don't know, obviously crushers where you sit down and ply your way through the back of somebody's neck as they sort of sat on the floor. Initially deemed as though something you would do, so as you said, it came off the push of the scrum. This is something that you would do defensively to slow somebody down. And I'm just not sure. Oof. Now there may well be something in this.
Bentley was there.
There may well be something in this, just for how awkward this looks. It's an unnatural position that they're moving into.
Bentley, just about to say before that incident, Jake Connor always seemed to be involved in pretty much all the main points, and that's exactly what's happening there. They were claiming a crusher tackle. I think the video referee will have a look at this, won't he?
Yeah, he will, and it's that extra effort from Bentley that just shifts Garcia's weight, and Connor drops on top of him. Now, if Navarrette's a yellow card for what was an unintentional hip drop, I think for consistency within this game, we saw the whole league game, didn't we? Fears of inconsistency in the high shots and the yellows for Hull and not for Lee. You'd think that this would have to be a yellow card in the light of the Navarrette incident.
Jake Connor for you, or was it Bentley for you?
Well, Jake Connor ultimately applies pressure to the neck, so if anybody's going to get sent, it'll be him.
Is it another card? It may well be. As John said, if Romain Navarrete is going to go to the sin bin, then really you've left Aaron Moore, the referee, with no choice, really. That's a yellow card.
Yeah, he's left himself with no choice. I don't think either were yellow cards. I think a penalty is sufficient, and maybe a warning letter, potentially a one-point ban in the new, one-point sanction in the new disciplinary system. A yellow card is way too impactful a decision for two incidents that ultimately are accidental.
He's got to give one, he has to give the other.
That's what I'm saying. It's a tricky situation when you start penalising. You can penalise those things. A penalty's great for me.
Well, sorry, to be fair to the referee, you called it straight away. You called it, didn't you, as soon as the tackle happened. And Ben Garcia looked a little groggy getting up. So both sides are down to 12.
You've got to be careful though. Players staying down. It's nice actually from Whitehead. We'd love to see Whitehead get going. He hasn't quite got going yet in the south of France.
Another mistake, Artem Moore. Wow, this is... The error count must be nearing double figures for both sides with 3 minutes to go to half-time. But you've got to say that the standard hasn't been stellar in the first 40 minutes, John.
Far from it. I think fantastic defensive work from both teams. Certainly a highlight for me has been just Leeds' ability to defend the line. But the pressure they've ultimately been under is self-inflicted. Catalan again, looking as blunt as a cleaver that's been in Bernard Gouache's abattoir for 48 years. Their attack just hasn't flowed or functioned. You know, they've looked tidy when they've got repeat sets and built some pressure, but certainly nothing coming. Navarrete about to rejoin the field, just with over 2 minutes left to half-time. A big half-time for two coaches. A big half-time, because whichever gets a reaction, you know, I'll be interested to see.
Love. Just 20 years of age, Ryan. He's had his chance, hasn't he, under Brad Arthur coming through the Leeds Academy. And he looks a real talent in the making. Thoroughly deserving of his opportunity. On the other wing, on debut, young Ethan Clark-Wood replacing Ryan Hall, who picked up a knock last week. Leeds a hopeful. Hall will be back for the Challenge Cup tie away at St Helens on Friday. Bentley brought down just inside the Catalan half of the field. Connor. Ackers now, last one, and forced to run it. Kick goes up from McDonald as it holed in the wind. Oh, and it might have done! It might have done, and as Frawley raced through to get his hand on the ball. Is that a try from absolutely
Tackle
Not to
5,
give
we have
them the
optional
lead.
decision of try. If you pause the ball on the foot, please. So everybody in the middle is onside. There's a player to the left who's offside, who has his feet ahead of the ball, so we'll just track his movements. If you play it through from here, please. Okay, here's a try score. If you just go back to the ball on the foot, please. Camera 3, if you go back to pausing the ball on the foot, please. Pause the ball on the foot, sorry. Ball on the foot. Go back one frame, please. Okay, so he needs both feet behind the ball, and he does not do that. I have a decision. I mean, it's going to be no try.
Wow.
It's a penalty, offside kick chase.
In the end, they were very, very close to a try. But Leeds offside by, well, maybe a foot. It remains 0-0. We'll have another look at that. It bounced off the post, and Frawley was very, very quick to race through, but just a little too quick off the mark.
Well, it wasn't. The pass actually was flung back to McDonald from Croft. You know, I'd imagine Frawley's expecting Croft to put foot on ball. The pass backwards to McDonald. And how about the 2 kicks from McDonald, by the way? The right back rower, he's found 2 results off 2 kicks. Frawley just 1 step offside. Brad Arthur knows what might have been in this half. If we look back to Jake Connor's chance 3 minutes in, and then 39 minutes on the clock, Matt Frawley, 2 chances denied by the smallest of margins by the video referee. Yeah, it'd be a frustrating half of rugby for Brad Arthur, but 0-0 it is, and it's a competitive game, as ugly as it is.
Well, Luke Keary is going to try and put points on the board for the Catalan Dragons on the stroke of half-time. Well, it may not be as thrilling as the opening night of the season when Wigan and Lee went 0-0 after 80 minutes, and Lee won 1-0, didn't they, in Golden Point extra time. But you never know. That 1 point from Luke Keary can the end of this game. Could be absolutely crucial. From one end to the other, when Leeds thought they may well have taken the lead, but Matt Frawley's effort was denied by the video referee. He was a touch offside, and from the resulting penalty, the Dragons get in field position. It's a half-time score in favour of Catalan by 1 point to 0, would you believe? It was a scrappy half. We saw Jake Connor denied, didn't we, in the early stages when he dropped the ball. And error after error, the error counted double figures for both. Roman Navarrete sin bin, Jake Connor sin bin, Frawley having a try disallowed. And then right on the stroke of half-time, a drop goal from Luke Keary. Catalan lead 1-0, and we'll dissect it all after the break. At half-time, between Catalan and Leeds on Sunday afternoon. Two big games on Sky Sports Plus. Warrington and Wigan both at home after the Las Vegas extravaganza. The champions playing Huddersfield. Warrington against Wakefield as Darryl Powell returns to the Halliwell Jones. 5-1 on air, kickoffs at 1, and then in a couple of weeks we're back on Sky Sports with round 5 of the Betfred Super League, all starting on Thursday with Salford against Huddersfield. On Friday, always a big game, Saints against Warrington. That's 7:30 on Sky Sports Action. Over on Sky Sports Plus you can see Wakefield against Hull FC. And to finish the weekend, 2 games on Saturday. Cas at home to Catalan. Again, that's Saturday afternoon on Sky Sports Plus. And then one of the highlights of the season, Leeds against Wigan, 5 o'clock, Saturday the 22nd of March. Sky Sports main event at Sky Sports Action. And then on the Sunday, Hull KR looking to make it 5 out of 5 at home to Lee, who were also unbeaten. Well, there you have it. Just the 1 point between the two sides, and it may well be absolutely crucial at the end of the game. Leeds have had a couple of chances. They've had a try disallowed. Luke Keary's drop goal on the first half. Who's at the difference between the two sides, and it's been a scrappy first 40 minutes, John Wilkin.
Yeah, 9 errors for Catalan, 8 for the Leeds Rhinos, and it's an error that started the game. It was an opportunity, a set play from Brodie Croft to find Jake Connor. And this was challenged. Jake Connor said he didn't touch it. The referee had several looks at it. The challenge ended up being unsuccessful. It was nice play from Croft, perfectly weighted kick. Connor did everything right but catch it. And that set the tone, really, for Leeds, which are half dominated by big mistakes in big moments. Great set play. Oh, so close. And you just think if that would have been scored, maybe it would have been a different half. You know, for Catalan, it became about building pressure, about short kicks, about being camped down on the Leeds line. And the issue for Catalan is, as delicate as Diofage was, and as delicate as Luke Keary was when it came to kicking the ball, they didn't come up with the end product. And it's been a problem. It's not been about ambition, it's about finesse for the Catalan Dragons. Now this was a big moment because Roman Navarrete swings around Andy Ackers, who spots space. He falls through the back of Andy Ackers' legs and leaves the referee with, well, a choice, either penalise or yellow card. He chose yellow card, and that created a somewhat of a problem. Again, Leeds just building pressure. Ollie Partington chasing back. Leeds just, again, making too many errors, unable to really get any consistency together with the ball. And I think Brad Arthur will be ruining a first half that was littered or punctuated by errors, and it just simply wasn't good enough. Brodie Croft with a delicate kick, and as we said, Oliver Partington, who's worked incredibly hard through the middle of the field, really mopping up and sweeping up. Now this is the Jake Connor yellow card. As we said about the Navarrete one, once the yellow card is given, I feel like the referee's left in a position where he can't just penalise this. For me, this is a penalty. For me, Navarrete is a penalty. For me, neither are yellow cards. For the sake of balance, the referee goes to his pocket. Aaron Moore gives Jake Connor 10 minutes in the bin from this point. Well, there was an opportunity. Matt Frawley was offside, wasn't he? But in the 40 minutes, Luke Keary just pops the one-pointer over. And that was ultimately the difference in the first half. It came off the back of the disallowed Frawley try. Maybe a big play from Luke Keary there, right on the stroke at half-time.
Well, it may be. But the big stat there, look at that. The error count, 17 errors between them in the first half. And it's got to get better. It's got to.
Yeah, Catalan started 2025 lacking a bit of composure and clarity. Moved the ball, have had ambition but no finesse. Leeds have shown signs that they've had some discipline in all parts of the game. They've shown defensive discipline, especially on the edges. Young Riley Lung, Ethan Clarkwood, really tidy performances from them, but with the ball, scratchy, too many errors, haven't got into a flow. But we've got a tight one. It's set up Catalan with Kiri's 1 point, 1-0 up at half-time.
Are we going to get tries in the second half? It's on the way. Catalan lead 1-0. Down to 12 men. Jake Connor's still got 7 minutes to serve in the sin bin after his yellow card. And Luke Keary, only the 7th drop goal of his career, would you believe? Thought he would have kicked more than that. One of them came in a grand final win over Melbourne. Indebted to our Sky Sports statistician Ian Proctor for filling us in with the details. But
he's gone to the vault. He's gone to the vault once more, has Ian? A big half-time, like I said. I think for Leeds, Brad Arthur will lament Leeds' ability to control possession, but we're pleased defensively. I think Steve McNamara and Joe Tompkins will be pleased with how they've defended themselves for the Catalan Dragons at home. But again, just looking and searching for some fluency, searching for combinations. You know, Partington and Garcia through the middle of the field need to just get going. Certainly Arthur Morg needs to get going in 2025. Without doubt, Luke Keary, who's steering them round, needs to get going in this season. But a big half-time for two coaches here.
It just remains for me, as we get underway, a big puzzle as to why Catalan Dragons just cannot score tries this season. There's a lot of reasons, you've touched on it. But for a side with the quality of play that they have at their disposal, they should be scoring more. We should see.
Sorry, I disagree. I think the spine's not good enough. Without Sam Tompkins
when Tompkins comes back, will it be good enough?
It'll be better. But Arthur Morg's not delivered. He's been a project. He hasn't delivered at Catalan. You know, Cesar Rougier, who started the year, hasn't delivered. So you say they've got quality. I think they've recruited well in the forwards. I just think through the spot, you've got Ben Garcia playing 9. That's where they're at the minute.
John Wilkin has spoken. Coming up for a minute gone in the second half. And it remains 1-0 in Catalan's favour. But something's clearly going to have to change for them, isn't it? Otherwise, the defeats are going to keep coming. Frawley it is on the last with the kick downfield. And here is the aforementioned Arthur Morg. Word is he's on the way to Hodgkinson Rovers in 2026. We shall see.
Yeah, Arthur Morg, look, has got a balanced sort of running style, but needs to be more effective if he's going to ball play. And as you said, look, Sam Tompkins had so much quality. When he comes back, there'll be a different intellect within their team that'll just transform it. But the worry for Catalan is if Leeds get their game together, you just feel like they've got the ability to be strong.
Back on attack here in Satai. This may be the chance they're after. Satai trying to go the distance. What a tackle it was for Riley Lung to stop Chris Satai. He was going the distance. He was going all the way. Crossfield kick there by Croft. Contrix can't get the ball out, and Leeds have it back, but they've lost it. It's picked up by Farge. Chance for Smith, and Remus Smith will stretch over and score. It was bitty, it was scrappy. There's no need to go to the video referee, and there is the try. It came with a touch of fortune, but Catalan get the try right at the start of the second half through Remus Smith. Satai nearly scored. Smith does.
You don't need to worry about your attack when Leeds just give you the ball. Just say, here, come and beat us. We'll give you possession, just come and beat us. Only turned over the ball. It was a slip, wasn't it, from James Bentley? That saw the break from Chris Satai. It was an unbelievable cover tackle from Riley Lung. But Leeds were at 6s and 7s. Harry Newman carries it out of the corner. Tarek Sims with an unbelievable challenge on the ball. And it was presence of mind from Theo Farge, who gave the ball to the athlete who we spoke about before the game, Remus Smith. Just too big, too strong, threatened to offload. and a great finish from him. And you're right, it came from nothing, other than an error from Harry Newman, other than an effort from Tariq Sims to chase and to apply pressure. As I said, Joel Tompkins and Steve Mack, if there's one thing they'll be happy about, it's their commitment to defence. And that try was scored out of a commitment to defending by Tariq Sims, forcing the error from Harry Newman.
And you also wonder, John, whether one moment like that might just change their fortunes. The confidence will be soaring through the Dragons players, but as you say, it looked like they lost the chance once more, but then Harry Newman gifted them back the ball, and games are won or lost on such moments.
It's the tale of the tape so far for the Rhinos. Errors just giving Catalan opportunities, and they've finally taken one, and let's see what that does. Like you said, lacking confidence, but that might just give the crowd and the Catalan Dragons the impetus they needed.
Martin Morg add the two just to stretch the advantage, and he can. So it's 7 points to 0, so it's a 2-score game, and already that Luke Keary drop goal on the stroke of half-time is looking good. But it is looking good for the Dragons, and it is looking good for Remus Smith, his first Catalan try.
And that 37-minute yellow card for Jake Connor may well be crucial, because Steve McNamara knows Leeds are down to 12. While Catalan have this advantage, they've got to make the most of it, and they certainly have done, with a great try there from Remus Smith. Scrappy, as he said, not much structure to it sometimes, doesn't matter how it looks.
A tangle there between Cooper Jenkins and Navarrete. Frenchman complaining, but on we go as O'Connor again makes the tackle week after week, isn't he? Jared O'Connor towards the top of the Leeds tackle chart. So is James McDonald. He's an unsung hero, isn't he, McDonald? We talked about him, you've talked about him. 31st consecutive game for the Rhinos, but has an insatiable appetite and work rate, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's a reason why McDonald and Gannon are in the team. Brad Arthur loves them. They just try 100% every week.
Well, Leeds are going to turn this round. As you say, there were important team talks from both coaches at half-time.
And that try, it provides a challenge, doesn't it, for Brad Arthur and Leeds? I always felt like if they could just keep the ball, they'd get back into the game. But 7-0 now, it's a 2-score game for Leeds. You know, they've really squandered 2 chances. Obviously, Connor's chance, and then Matt Frawley just being caught offside in the first half. And not a great showing with the ball. It's an offload here from Harry Newman to Jared O'Connor.
They'll try and come up with something, haven't they?
Yeah, Gannon's claiming he's been clipped here by Elliot Whitehead.
Yeah. Play on. Sam Lasoni does up to halfway. Jared O'Connor, they go to the right. There's the high kick from Brodie Croft, and Martin Morg under it. Not too much pressure on the fullback. 7-0 Catalan lead. That try from Remus Smith, only their 5th in Super League this season, but it could be all important.
You'll take it, won't you? When things aren't going your way and when you aren't playing well, it's strange, just little moments like that really matter. Jake Connor now back on the field, getting Leeds back to that full complement of 13, and crucially having your fullback on the field who organises and shifts your defensive line around. It's his primary function there, Jake Connor. An error from Navarrete.
Goes without the ball, and the error count goes up again. The wind has died down in Perpignan. The rain has stopped as well, but the error count just keeps on rising.
Yeah, it's a poor delivery from Garcia from 9. Navarrete steaming onto it, but you've got to credit Sam Lasoni, who really works hard from the inside and just gets in the eye line of Roman Navarrete. It's a poor mistake from him. Leeds ball. Now, what are you thinking here? You've got to just... It's strange when you focus on errors how many more you make. So I'd almost be willing, Leeds, to just play with some freedom, not worry about errors.
Ash Handley brought down O'Connor just inside his own half of the field, falling offloads. The defence has been decent from both sides in the main, hasn't it? 7-0, 7 minutes gone in the second half. Bentley was going nowhere, he was stopped on halfway.
Yeah, good intent there from Ollie Partington, you know, leading up that line, making great contact on Cooper Jenkins.
Now the little kick and chase. Across will come Morgan, takes it well. Under pressure from the debutant Ethan Clark-Wood.
It's a smart kick, isn't it? It's a smart kick into a corner. And look at the tricky position now Catalan have to come from. You know, Leeds can chalk up their defensive line, get tight, get aggressive.
There it was. Here is the try scorer. Former Melbourne Storm star, Remus Smith.
Again, solid contact.
Yeah, intent in defence, wasn't it?
Morgan Gannon, just excellent technique.
Farge with the kick downfield. Connor's first touch to the ball after coming back on. Rarely out of the spotlight on a rugby field, Jake Connor.
Yeah, after that missed chance early, really had a quiet day, but that's understandable because Leeds just haven't had possession or had the discipline to retain possession enough to just get Jake Connor into the game. You know, these are the parts of the field where you can start to get some combinations going, start to move the ball.
Croft does well, but good tackle from Partington it was. Here is Frawley. How much they missing Cameron Smith in work that he does, and certainly with ball in hand, that pivot player, the captain.
Well, yeah, if he was playing and he didn't drop the ball, he'd probably do better than the Leeds lads who were there.
Yeah, that's another error.
It's Frawley, who picked up a terrible hand injury against Salford. A horrendous gash on his hand. You know, fair play to him, stayed on the field. Missed last week. He's just got rattled here in the head. He's just having a knee, took a knee. You see him wobble there. The medics will be all over that. That's classic concussive symptoms there. Just a little wobble as he got up to unsteady on his feet.
Well, that could be a further big loss for Leeds. Matt Frawley, he's certainly going to have to go off, isn't he, for an HIA, you would think.
Yeah, and we've got Jack Sinfield on the bench, who came in, obviously, in the absence of Croft and Frawley last week.
There he is.
Yeah, he came on and did a great job. Leeds scored 7 tries with him just guiding Leeds around the field.
Well,
so
perhaps it's what they need.
Yeah, potentially, you know, Jack Sinfield's going to get an opportunity here to just bring some control to a Leeds performance that's lacked it.
Well, Jack Sinfield, this may well be your moment. Still only 20 years of age, only 18th appearance in a Leeds shirt, but highly thought of around the club and by Brad Arthur. And you just sort of wonder whether the number 7 jersey might be his in 2026. We shall see, but he's got a chance to make his mark here. Jack Sinfield leads 7-0 down. We've had 10 minutes of the second half, and it's set up beautifully for either side to make something out of this. As Farge is wrestled to the ground, the ball comes loose from Gannon, and the referee says Farge has lost it.
It's all about Morgan Gannon, though, because Morgan Gannon reads the play. So Catalan play super early out the back. Morgan Gannon's got way enough time to just go out there and get it. It's a great read from the young back rower. If you do that, what he's done, and come out of the line, you have to make contact and you have to finish the tackle. Not only did he make contact, he forced an error from Theo Farge.
Well, the error count at half-time was 9 from Catalan, 8 from Leeds. They're adding to that 11, 10, 21 errors so far.
But as I said all the way through, the side that can just control the ball for a period will likely go on and do very well in this game. Neither side have really had a period where they've done that.
Good run again from Jenkins. Darren O'Connor.
Yeah, the 2 back rowers for Leeds have been solid. You said about McDonald and some, but yet him and Gannon have really been solid here.
Cross looking for a way through. Couple of tackles, couple of opportunities still. Here is Lasoni. Went to offload. Sinfield was the willing runner. But it is the last one, and O'Connor finds Sinfield. Little chip over the top. He was looking to catch Arthur Morgan, but well read by the young fullback. You've got to say it was a disappointing set.
Yeah, but they got to the end of it, and they're in a position now where through line speed they can just apply pressure to Catalan Dragons. And then Catalan, in the face of the wind that's still strong, unless Leeds give away penalties, unless Leeds lose the discipline, which James Bentley does, that's disappointing, because why do you put the conservative kick in? Why do you do a conservative set? It's to then just build pressure at this end of the field, and that just releases it all. It's just a second effort on the floor, too slow.
There you go, 23 errors in total. 54 minutes on the clock. Big hit on Elliot Whitehead. Morgan Gannon once more has been, as you say, he was outstanding last time out. He was playing in the halves as they beat Castleton.
It's not fair.
Oh, Da Costa. Over halfway.
Well, Catalan have done that this year, haven't they? You know, one bright light was maybe about 20 offloads a game they've had. They've really reined that in, but when you can't play through structure, offloads are a great way to just speed the game up.
Another score here for the Dragons will really make things difficult for Leeds. Worth reminding you, the last 2 years they've played at the Stanfield Bear Bruisers, they've not scored a single point. And with 55 minutes on the clock here, they've still not scored a single point.
Brad Arthur hated getting reminded about that in the build-up to this week.
Fars with a kick through, and Lund read it well. He had to, under pressure. And that was a good set. They built up the pressure. They're going to build up some more. It was well read by the young winger, but it's another goal line dropout.
Yeah, it's smart again from Theo Farge, threatening with shape, bringing Riley Lum up maybe 2 or 3 metres more than he wanted, and then the kick was perfect. Oh, that gets the opportunity now for Catalan to have a real crack at the Leeds line. It's the 5th dropout they forced there, and Theo Farge and Luke Keary just let the ball bounce Cottridge.
Yes,
wow,
look at that.
What a dropout.
Cottridge picking the ball up about 15 yards from his own line.
I take it back, they're not going to be the attack in the Leeds line. What a dropout.
55 minutes, 7-0 Catalan lead. One crucial try in the second half from Remus Smith. Da Costa it is, and Theo Farge, and here is Elliot Whitehead, who's found it difficult, as John said, in his second stint with the Dragons. 9 years he played at the Canberra Raiders, including in a grand final.
Some line from Tarek Sims has just squared Brodie Croft right up.
Da Costa, he's made a difference since he's come on. Farge now looking for some joy on this far side, and well played, Riley Lum under pressure from Makinson. Wow, it was well read,
massive play,
well taken, very brave.
Huge from Riley Lum, excellent positionally. He's got one of the best finishers in the world, just steaming up on his outside. It's a great kick. Well, fantastic rugby all round.
What about you? Just a sense that the Catalan have upped it.
They look intense. Look, they've really competed in contact. Defensively, I said both sides have been tidy and sharp. Certainly for Joel Tompkins, who's working hard on that Catalan defence, he'll be pleased. It's an opportunity though here. Oh, that's a big play from Cottridge.
Cottridge had to. Otherwise, there was an opportunity, wasn't there? Got his hand to the ball. Leeds will get it back, but there was an overlap there. Certainly, Handley and Clark Wood would have had an opportunity, but Leeds will get it back close to their own line.
Yeah, it's McDonnell again. Sims, it's a lovely offload, looking like a lovely offload. Clark Wood was away. Such a big play from Cottridge. 2 big plays from the wingers. We saw Riley Lum for Leeds come up with a great catch. And Cottridge using all sorts there. The Catalan left edge is stripped. There are no numbers left. If that ball goes to hand, it's a break. Big play from Cottridge.
57 minutes, still 7-0, and still Leeds haven't scored a point in Perpignan for over 3 years, but they get a penalty. Sam Tompkins, you can see, stood at the back of the box behind Steve McNamara. John Wilkin alluded to him. He was close to playing. He maybe could have played, but they weren't going to risk it. They've got a cup tie against Featherstone next week. Do they risk him then, or do they keep him for the league game? And he will make a difference, Sam Tompkins. The question you've got to ask is that at his stage of his career, it's just a fact, he's prone to getting more injuries, isn't he? And that could hurt Catalans as the season goes on.
Yeah, and you're in trouble. Sam's tried to retire several times. So if they haven't thought about replacing him, Elliot Whitehead going to leave the field here, you're right to say. He just needs to get going in a Catalan shirt for the second time. Leeds fans will be loving the trip. It's a great trip out to Perpignan, as we all know. But yes, Sam is only partly an answer for this year and the remainder of this year. The rest of that spine needs some work.
I'm sure they're already working on that, but you know as well as I do. Here we are in round 4, but a lot of the clubs are already doing business and making plans for next year and beyond, aren't they?
Well, yeah, next year's done. You know, you're recruiting for 27 now.
7-0 coming up for the hour mark in the south of France. Leeds, you feel, simply have to score next. To Connor, a little run from dummy half, but it's already the last one. Sinfield into acting halfback, and Brodie Croft it is who'll go to the air. Moore goes for it. Now that did come back, or did it come forward off a Leeds player? Well,
there's another big play by Kotrick.
It was. I think it may well have, was it Hanley?
Yeah, but what he's done here is just stop that going to the screen. Now there's every chance in the melee of hands and the kick. You know, it could well have come off a Leeds player, but Kotrick's effort to get on this and make a tackle means this isn't going to go to the screen. It looked like Connor got the first touch. It looked like it went forward. But I love the effort by the Catalan players to scramble. Desperation on show there from the Dragons. We're really pleased, the coaches.
Seguier on. Elliot Whitehead will be getting an HIA. $7-0. An hour gone at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Catalan Dragons are 20 minutes away from what would be in the circumstances a huge win. Sam Lassoni penalised. Again, relieving the pressure.
It's just a killer. Like, it's impossible to get a foothold in the game. When you're building it around kicking accurately and then being aggressive defensively and saying we're going to pin this team down in their end, and then you're just pressure relieving penalties consistently. It's frustrating for Brad Arthur.
Hour gone, 7-0. Mind you, Steve McNamara would have taken 1-0. A win is a win is a win when you've lost your first 3, isn't it?
Absolutely. Anything will do. Anything will do.
Here is Partington. Been busy again, hasn't he, for the Dragons. Oliver Partington, formerly of the parish of Wigan and Salford in Super League. Good run again. He does put in a lot of hard yards, doesn't he, Julien Bousquet? His 14th year with the Dragons. He is a powerful forward. And opportunity now. Smith tries to get the ball out to Kotrick. Well, they chance their arm there, Remus Smith. Probably would have been better hanging on to it. No chance for Nick Kotrick on the wing. Leeds get it back. The clock ticking, 18.5 minutes left.
Yeah, Leeds are still in this. Scratches they've been, they're still in this. The Leeds fans watching at home, they'll know that all they need is a chance. Somebody to break the game open for them. Is it going to be Croft? Could it be Connor? Or are Catalan just going to keep with this defensive resilience that they've shown? Can't feel like Jake Connor usually has some say, has points in him. History tells you that Leeds don't like going to Catalan.
Not good news from the sidelines either for the Rhinos. Matt Forley has failed his HIA, won't be back tonight, won't be able to play against Saints in the Cup next Friday. That drop goal is still looking all important, isn't it? Right on the hoosh at the end of the first half, and Leeds have got to come up with 2 scores. Sinfield brought down just shy of halfway. Alensky back on the field, and Croft and Connor it is. Takes play just inside the Dragons' half of the field. It is the last one. Again, they go high to test Artem Moore, but Moore takes it easily.
Nice footwork from Morgan. Jammed his right foot down.
Makinson. Farge has certainly made a difference for the Dragons.
Yeah, but the repeat set, you know, the built pressure, they've been patient, they've backed the defence, that's what you have to say. They've just backed the defence to come up and do a job. It's not been faced with a huge amount of options and variation from the Leeds due to their inability to control the ball, but certainly pleasing how the defence for the Catalan Dragons has showed up here.
And here is Theo Farge with the kick downfield, but taken easily by Riley Lum. Been impressive on that wing, defensively been outstanding, just hasn't put a foot wrong. The chase was good though from Paul Seguier. Clark Wood on debut. Not really had a chance to see much of him with the ball. He's been handling defensively as well, the 2 wingers.
Yeah, tidy game. The two wingers for Leeds have been really clean.
Lissoni on halfway. 4 tackles gone in this set for Leeds. Can they find a spark? Can they find something? Croft it is, goes short for James McDonnell.
It's a mouthful, Stuart.
Croft with the high kick. That's a good one. And it was fumbled. I think that should be play on. And here is Riley Lum. The mistake from Catalan, and this is the chance maybe that Leeds needed. It was the mistake from the Rhinos which led to the try for Remus Smith. Feel they need to score here. O'Connor trying to hurry things along. Diagonal run from Ash Handley. 3 yards away from the try line. Big Sam Lissoni charges forward. 1, 2, 3, 4 Catalan defenders around Lissoni. Here is O'Connor now. They'll spread the ball. Sinfield looks for a way through. Bousquet with the tackle. Satay as well helping. 2 tackles left. O'Connor gets the ball back. Well, as it's a forward pass. It's a forward pass against Leeds. And Catalan celebrates as if they've scored a try. Great defensive set from the Dragons. Another missed opportunity, you feel, for the Rhinos.
Yeah, well, I'll focus on Catalan because there's not much to say about that attacking set from the Leeds Rhinos. What steel, what defence, what appetite to not concede from Catalan. Now, they've been challenging in the Super League and it's often built on their defence. Now, I was worried when you look at their next fixtures because I thought this was a tricky fixture for Catalan. Then they go to Castleford in the Super League, round 5. Just feeling like that is a big day for Steve McNamara if he's under pressure. But he'll be feeling a lot better about that now. The 7-0 up here and Leeds just throwing nothing at them. Nothing. But Catalan just doing what they need to do, making big tackles, bringing energy and intent to the defence.
So, yeah, it was. De Costa and Bousquet. Appearance number 287 for the Catalan Dragons.
Remarkable career, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Fantastic career.
I think the message will be from Steve McNamara to play it safe, really keep on doing what you're doing, simply because Leeds haven't looked like scoring. Just play the percentages.
I think that's what they've been doing all. They've just done that anyway, haven't they? Kick the ball well and just back your defence. That's what they've done. Leeds will get an opportunity here. Stuart, there'll be an opportunity for Leeds, and that's where it get interesting.
Smith it was with the tackle on Clark Wood. Well, they've got a chance their arm here, Leeds. Looks like they're doing that. Sinfield. Like one hand, one bounce into the arms of Ash Handley. They've got to go for it. They've got to try something different. They've got a tough run coming up, haven't they? Saints in the Cup and then Wigan and Warrington. O'Connor. Again, they'll test that right-hand side. Long ball out. Well, absolutely no chance whatsoever. Even the athleticism that we see from Ethan Clark Wood today on debut, he had no chance. That was a dreadful pass, I'm afraid.
He's had a poor day, was Brodie Croft. Sinfield playing square. Just way too far out in front of Clark Wood. We're chasing the game, and rightly so. 12 minutes to go. Brodie Croft really taking a chance on the longer ball. There's maybe not enough done on the inside of that play to merit the long ball over the top. No clear-cut opportunity. Catalans would have swallowed him up anyway, even if he'd caught the ball. He's getting desperate now for Leeds.
Elliot Whitehead has passed his HIA, so no problems there for him. Bentley is on for Jenkins. A little over 12 minutes for Leeds to find something from somewhere. Well, we're going to have that remarkable fact of 3 consecutive years they played on that ground, on this ground, and scored nothing.
As I said, Brad Arthur was brought up pre-match. He was unaware of it. He didn't really like it getting brought up, and you'd imagine this would sting if it does stay like this.
Here's Keary. Runs into the ever-willing workhorse James McDonnell. Kick goes up from Keary.
What a take.
Good take from Connor.
What a take from Jake Connor. Now they play.
Now they've got to play. Sinfield, it is! Oh dear.
No.
Ash Handley with the error. And Leeds' might is encapsulated in that one play.
Yeah, absolutely. Opportunities have presented themselves, and they've just not been able to take them. It's windy, so those longer balls, we saw him from Brodie Croft. As we said, the wind's going from right to left. That's just pushing that ball away from Ash Handley all the way. Same for Clark Wood on the other side. Conditions maybe dictate. Play shorter, play tighter. The unfortunate thing is that Leeds have come up with errors when they've done that too. So there's a big error here. Catalans, just a chance to really close this one out and get the first win of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 minutes to go. And you have to say at the moment, Leeds just don't look like scoring at all. But another score for Catalans, and that would be that. Here is Chris Satine. Elensky in there, Bentley in there to try and bring him down. Da Costa and Farge. Got to build some pressure. Garcia back on. Satine. Big, powerful man, isn't it, Chris Satine? Couple of yards away from the line. Da Costa tries to go on his own. Scored the Dragons' only try in their defeat at Lee last weekend. Last one, Seguier it was at dummy half. Now it's with Farge. Farge a little chip towards the far side. And the ball comes back, comes down, and is it a try for Rhinos Smith? Did it come off Ethan Clark Wood? Is that the game for the Catalan Dragons? Well, we're going to have to wait to find out. It was a teasing kick. Clark Wood was under pressure. Smith may have got his second, and if he has, it'll be a winning try. The video ref, Liam Rush, will make the ultimate call.
Decision of try. If we pause it on the foot on this angle, please. Okay, so everybody to the left is onside. There's an offside player in the middle who we're going to track. Can you just play it through from here, please? Get something tight in on that, please, possibly camera 4. Okay, so looking at the contest, nice and slow. Okay, the ball always comes off Clark Wood from there. Do you have something in the corner for the grounding, please? Camera 6. So, play it through again, nice and slow. Nice and slow here, please. Okay, so confirming the ball's always off Clark Wood up to this point. So we can play on from here. Just rewind it on that, please. Just confirm that it still comes off the back of his hand there. Okay, so play through from here. Okay, so it's off the back of his hand at that point. The Catalan blade doesn't touch it there. Keep running it through. Nice and slow on here. Takes possession and grounds the ball. Thanks, I've made my decision.
Well, Remus Smith scored his first try for Catalan Dragons just after half-time. And his second try in a Catalan Dragons shirt will surely clinch Steve McNamara's side their first win of the season. Unfortunate for Ethan Clark-Wood because he's been so good and reliable on debut. Maybe the wind played its part, a swirling kick which went up from Luke Carey, but the try for Remus Smith, it's 11-0, it may well be the game.
Yeah, Theo Farge was who kicked the ball across, and it was, Clark-Wood couldn't do anything about it. Remus Smith, he's a big athlete, competed hard for it, and ultimately the difference has been two scrappy, unstructured tries and an incredible willingness to defend from Catalan Dragons. That's what's really impressed me about the performance here this afternoon.
Well, as we said, a win is a win is a win. It doesn't matter how or by how many. Just about getting that first win on the ball. Ball from the touchline, just short of the post. So it's 11 points to 0 in favour of the Dragons.
Yeah, it was Farge just on that right foot of his, perfectly judged. Just Kotric it was who competed so hard. Just one-on-one competition in that far channel. You see Farge really organising this last play. I've been so impressed actually with Theo, the way in which he's really controlled this part of the game, especially short kicking game and building pressure. Done that very well, and then they've just backed the defence.
Theo Farge, say his first game of the season, missed the first month, 5 weeks, simply because he broke his ribs in a training ground accident. And you know how painful that can be.
Yes, incredibly so. You know, he'll be feeling that for the majority of this year now. That won't go away. But a tidy performance from him. And I said, if you kick well, back your defence. It's quite the opposite at Leeds. Leeds have kicked into nice positions and then conceded penalties or dropped the ball. You've got to back it up with your defence, and that's the difference here today.
I mean, the equation, strangely enough, remains the same for Leeds. They've still got to score twice. But if you're honest, in the second half, they've not looked like scoring once.
No, there's time, though. There's time in this game for Leeds.
Absolutely.
There's time for them. It's running out, but you never know with Leeds.
Well, Lunn trying to conjure something up. Riley Lunn, Sinfield at dummy half. They've got to score 2 converted tries. They've got a little over 6 minutes to do it. That is the equation. And Lenski up to halfway. Acker's back in business for the Leeds Rhinos. Bentley plays the ball quickly. Acker's again looking to go from dummy half, just looking to find something. It's a bit of magic, just something which may get them back into this game. 2 tackles left with Sony back inside for Brody Croft, who put the kick forward, and Theo Farge read it well, right-footed, traps the ball, picks it up. Catalan survive, and another, you have to say, disappointing set from the Rhinos.
Yeah, just everything crossed stride today, has just not really come off. His ambition, just a short kick, not come off at all. And again, Catalan just stood up to everything Brad Arthur and Jamie Langley have thrown at them. The plan, whatever it has been, has not been executed by those players, but Catalan have answered all the questions that have been asked of them here this afternoon. It's a performance, a defensive performance you can build off. It's not been pretty. The tries they've scored are far from flamboyant, but they've done this. Kick, right? We're going to put you in a bad spot, and then we're going to defend off the back of it with discipline.
Keary it was, pounced on by Clark Wood, tackled by the two-try hero for the Catalan Dragons, Remus Smith, but with a little under 5 minutes to go, John Wilkin has the job of calling the Betfred player of the match.
Yeah, the Betfred player of the match for me is Theo Farge, for many reasons. I think first game in, broken ribs, difficult situations come into a team that's had such disruption in the halves. Look, he's not been flash, he's not been exceptional, but he's just built pressure with his kicking game and then showed up solidly defensively. So Theo Farge is the player of the match.
Just over 8,000 inside the Stan Gilbert Brutus. But it really is going to be a big win for the Catalan Dragons and for Steve McNamara. Listen, he's one of the most experienced coaches in world rugby now. And the fact that he's been in charge since 2017, but no matter what you've done, what you've achieved, the success that you've had, you're still going to feel the pressure if your team is losing games.
Yeah, without doubt, and it's just maybe the investment in the players. The postseason last year would be the thing that would get Steve in trouble at the start of this year, and it just looked woeful. Glimmer against Warrington that there was something there, and they've showed that fight again here.
Well, there's no guarantees, is there? Last season, they won 7 out of their first 8 Super League games and ended up missing the playoffs. So, as you said earlier, John, quite rightly, that, you know, nothing happens in March. There's a long, long way to go. As Keary puts up a good hanging kick, and it'll bounce back to Smith here, still on the last. He'll go for it. Ball back inside for Sims. It's a knock-on. It's a knock-on. I think Tarek Sims knows it's a knock-on. The referee was right in front of it. He knew it was a knock-on, but we're just going to check anyway. It's a no try, but we'll get confirmation.
We have on-field decision of no try. If you pause it on the foot here, please. So we can see that Da Costa in the middle is the only player that's in an offside position. We can play it through at this point and see what happens, please. Okay, so Da Costa is okay at that point. He's outside the 10. See what happens from here. Do you have something from the corner, please? Okay, so takes possession. We go nice and slow on this, please. He releases the ball. Do you have something from the other corner, please? We lose sight of the ball at that point. So we know he takes possession there. Run it through from this point. Do you have something from camera 5, possibly, please? Okay, so nice and slow on this, please. Nice and slow. And we lose sight of the ball at that point as well. If you go back to, we'll finish on camera 6, please. Okay, so we know he's in possession, he stays in the field. Ball's passed back inside. Okay, so nice and slow on this, please. Nice and slow. So he stays in the field, throws the ball back inside. And then we'll lose sight of the ball at the point of the pickup. I have insufficient evidence to overturn the live call. I've made a decision.
There's going to be a no try. A little wobble, wasn't there, when Tarek Sims lost possession and then regathered to touch it down.
Yeah, go with your live call.
I think the reaction of Tarek Sims said everything that you need to know. No try. You think it was?
If he wasn't in touch. I think Tarek Sims' reaction confused me because he made it appear as though he hadn't grounded the ball.
Well, someone's right, someone's wrong.
Well,
at the end of the day, it's no try.
It's largely irrelevant, isn't it, in the context of this game? Just such a lengthy process.
I was actually looking at the puzzled look on your face while that was being called. But fair play actually to Aaron Ball. I certainly thought it was a knock-on straight away. Tarek Sims' reaction perhaps gave it away, but the referee did the right thing, didn't he? Sent it upstairs. No try, it is! 2.5 minutes to go before Catalan can celebrate their first win of the season. As you say, John, it matters not.
Yeah, no, let's not get away from what's worked. You know, when you aren't winning, you're looking for something to build performances on, and Steve McNamara through the week might well have just focused on that intensity of his defence, because it showed up here. And as we spoke about Leeds, not really coming up with anything with the ball other than errors. But Catalan have just been so competent in defence. They've been connected. They've had a bit of physicality to them that we saw in the Warrington game. We've seen it here again. It's not been clean. It's not been tidy. It's not been a beautiful fixture by any sense. But the only thing that matters is those points next to the Catalan name. And there's 11 of them, and there's 0 next to the Leeds.
Again. Yeah. It's a well-used phrase in many sports about winning ugly, but as we've said, a win is a win, and it really is going to be a massive win for the Catalan and for Steve McNamara. Partington stopped on halfway. Yeah,
it's a big relief for Steve McNamara, isn't it? Without doubt, he needed this. The Catalan Dragons needed this, and you know, the fans needed this over in France as well. Theophage with another tidy kick into the corner. But it's where to, I suppose, for the Rhinos now and Brad Arthur, because I felt like I watched them against Salford and I started to see things that got me really excited about watching Leeds this year, and so far removed from that performance. Obviously, Salford have gone through the ringer at the start of this year, so maybe not a valid test case to see how the Rhinos are going, but some work to do for the Rhinos.
Well, the last few seconds of the game. 3 years ago, Leeds were beaten 61-0 by Catalan at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Last year it was 26 points to 0, and this year it's 11 points to 0. High tackle there by Sims on Clark Woods. There'll be one more play. One more chance, maybe, for Leeds to get rid of the nil. Ethan Clark-Woods had a decent debut. Not really had much chance either, the wingers, have they, to show what they could do with ball in hand.
It's not far for a red card, that, just because it's the last second of the game. It's not far off being a red card in the modern game, but we just brush over it. And to get to the end of the game, I understand, but...
Well, a chance maybe. Clark-Wood puts the ball back inside from the kick from Brodie Croft, but that is the end of the game. And it is, at the fourth time of asking, a big win for the Catalan Dragons. Their first win of the season. All very scrappy, all very bitty, but it was built on solid defence. For Leeds, hugely disappointing, as they came into this game really confident. But for the third consecutive year, they've been nilled at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. 11-0 Catalan win.
Yeah, defensively exceptional. A real cohesion with how they defended. Leeds never looked like breaking them down, apart from when they kicked the ball. The two opportunities did lead to them. Maybe rue those missed opportunities in the first half. How big might that Jay Connor, 3 minutes into the game, missed opportunity, just have changed the narrative and changed the course of this match. But it's a much needed win for Steve McNamara and the Catalan Dragons.
Well, there you go, 2 tries in the second half. The first 2 tries in Catalan colours for Remus Smith. That's all that matters. They've won. They may have scored only 6 tries in 4 Super League games this season now. Those 2 from Remus Smith. A lot of work to do on the attack. As John Wilkins said, though, Theo Farge certainly made a difference in taking the Dragons around the field and dictating the way that they played, and was very influential in the way that they played.
Yeah, and it was the first Remus Smith try that, for me, you know, Sam Tompkins is just texting Remus Smith saying, well done, pal, 2 tries, see you next week. But yeah, Sam will be a big addition to the team. We've spoke at length about what he will add. Certainly some pedigree, but it's the tries, wasn't it? The difference was Catalan were able to get over the line. If we have a look at the analysis, Remus Smith's double in that second half was the difference between the two sides. Steve McNamara knows how important it is to just get wins, to just score points in whatever way that you can. The first try came off a break. It was a slip by Bentley's. Chris Satai made the break. It's off the back of this. Leeds come up with possession in the far right-hand corner. It's a tidy crossfield kick. I thought Catalans kicked the ball exceptionally well all night. Didn't come up with anything. Harry Newman gets the ball, and this is the tale of the afternoon. Mistake from Newman, reaction from Farge, finish from Smith. That's all it takes sometimes. We get too fancy with structure and shape and talking about fixing defenders. Well, there's something in the simplicity of just taking an opportunity that presents itself. Farge just went north-south, and Remus Smith too big, too strong for Leeds to handle. That was the first try, and we see the importance of errors. Harry Newman and Leeds making errors consistently. And it's then to the 71st minute, Remus Smith with his second try. And this is again a pinpoint kick from Theo Farge on the money. It's a contest with Clark Wood. Remus Smith just reacts, and again just comes up with something, Stuart. It's not glamorous, but that's how Catalan got the points.
Well, absolutely. As we said earlier, John, it really doesn't matter how you win, and they just read the situation. Remus Smith was quickest to the ball, and the smile on his face told you everything you need to know. It was a win for the Dragons. Yeah,
and Steve McNamara, you know, knows in these situations, you know, you just need to get the points. He's certainly not got the polished, finished product yet. He knows that.
Okay, well, Theo Farge played his first game of the season. For him, contribution was crucial. He was chosen by John Wilkins as the Betfred player of the match, and he's speaking now to Steve Brady.
Theo Farge, welcome back to Stade Gilbert Brutus with a lot of smiling French fans here tonight. How good does that feel to get the first win of the season?
Yeah, it's good finally. You know, it's a long time coming, but you know we kept working hard, and that's why it takes hard work. And you know, we finally got the win at home, and you know, our fans deserve it, and you know, it's a good night for us.
Has it been difficult watching from the sides as they struggle with the first 3 games? Is it frustrating? Do the players feel that frustration? Is today vindication for all of their worries?
Yeah, it's always hard to be on the sideline and you know, watch the team not perform as good as we can. And you know, I still think we know our best, and obviously nobody is a start of season, but you know, we're building, and hopefully we can take confidence from our defense tonight, and you know, we're building into our attack too, and it's a long season, so we'll be good by the end, hopefully.
Congratulations on the man of the match display. Thank you, Theo.
Cheers. All the best.
Yeah, he made a difference, didn't he? Made a difference, and there was the man who made a difference. Remus Smith, all smiles for Elliot Whitehead. And this just about sums it up, but look at that, 30 errors in the game, but Catalan winning all the important battles.
Well, the only battle that matters out of those stats is the score, isn't it? They're very evenly contested, both sides making errors. Catalan simply had the tenacity to defend their errors. That was the difference here. Leeds made errors and then conceded 2 Remus Smith tries. Not vintage from either side, but such a needed win for Catalan Dragons and for Steve McNamara in particular.
Yeah, it wasn't the best game, that's for sure. But Steve McNamara, he'll be happy.
Smiles on some faces here. How relieved are you to get your first win of the season?
It was a tough win. It's a really hard game. I mean, the weather's calmed down a little bit now, but it was horrendous. Obviously in the first half with the wind and the rain. And look, I just thought the last probably since the start of the season, we've probably lost our identity a little bit. You know, we needed to, you know, we want to play a more attractive style, we want to entertain, we want to please people, but sometimes you've got to be yourselves, and I think tonight our defence was that. You know, we were ferocious in defence, you know, we attacked everything Leeds threw at us, and that's more like us. You know, you score tries on days like these of scraps and drop balls and errors and kicks, and that's what we managed to do.
Underpinning that, Steve, defensive display tonight. You must be really pleased. The discipline in defence, what you talked about all season, incredible.
Yeah, it's exactly what I just said. It's simple as that. You know, we defended our way to that victory tonight, and we found enough points on the board. You know, I think the drop goal just before half time was actually really, really crucial. I think obviously it was a big swing there. There was a disallowed try from Leeds, and we go and get 1 point at the other end, and into the win second half. You know, once we got that first try and got a 7-point buffer, it was easy to hold on to that lead.
Congratulations, well done, Steve.
Yeah, interesting, wasn't it? Interesting you're saying there that they've lost their identity a little bit. They want to entertain, but it was very much a case of needs must for the Catalan Dragons. And this is what's happened so far. Round 4 of the Betfred Super League. A thrilling start. Hull FC and Lee with that draw, and then on Friday night, big win for Castleford. The troubles continue on and off the field for Salford. Hull KR with a fantastic performance to beat St Helens, and then the Catalan Dragons finally on the board, their first 2 points of the season. 2 big games Sunday afternoon, both kicking off at 1 o'clock on Sky Sports Plus. Warrington taking on Wakefield, and the champions Wigan at home to the Huddersfield Giants. So this is the Super League table as it stands, and you can see down at the bottom the Catalan Dragons finally winning for the first time, the 4th time of asking. But Hull KR with the only 100% record in Super League. Lee unbeaten in 2nd, then St Hull FC in 4th, but Wigan with a win could go into the top 4 against Huddersfield on Sunday. In 2 weeks' time, we're back on Sky Sports with round 5 on the Thursday the 20th. Salford and Huddersfield kicking it all off. Will they still both be looking for their, or Salford will be, will Huddersfield still be looking for their first win? The answer's on Sky Sports Plus on Thursday at 8 o'clock. And on Friday, blockbuster game it always is between Saints and Warrington. The Wire got the better of the Saints, didn't they, on 4 occasions in 2024. Sky Sports action, 8 o'clock kickoff. At the same time, Wakefield plays Hull FC. On Saturday afternoon, it's Castleford against Catalan. And then on at 5:30, Sky Sports action again for Leeds against Wigan. And then on Sunday, Hull KR looking to make it 5 out of 5. 2 unbeaten sides going head-to-head. Hull KR against the Lee Leopards. So there we go. It's been a difficult night for the Leeds Rhinos, but it's been a victorious night for the Catalan Dragons. A big win, their first of the season. It's the Challenge Cup next weekend. We will return with 6 games live on Sky Sports in a fortnight's time. Don't forget on Sunday afternoon to join us from 1 o'clock for Wigan against Huddersfield and Warrington against Wakefield. From John Wilkin and from myself, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and it's good night.